Hey YouTube, what's up? This is Rexmccloud, and I'm here doing a small little guide because of a certain Slayer task. I was assigned, drumroll please, Skeletal Wyverns. Now, I had about double this earlier, so I decided, I've heard a lot of people complaining about these things, and I'm wondering why do people hate them so much? So, what's wrong with them? So we're gonna go ahead and have some fun and see what happens. Now I'm teleporting to Remington, and if you've watched my Frost Dragon Slayer guide, you'll recognize a lot of the places where I'm going. So you'll probably notice that there's they're not that hard. I honestly don't see why people hate them so much. So a quick rundown on the gear before we go too much detail into them. These guys attack with all three combat styles: magic, range, and melee. So I would advise wearing D'hide armor or Arma. And to be completely honest, because I'm meleeing them, I actually wouldn't recommend Armor. I'd recommend Corils or D'hide because Arma does lower down your melee offense versus these guys, so might not be the best choice. But it's one of those, why not? Um, if now another big thing, the most important thing, if you pull nothing else from this guide, you need a Dragon Fire Shield or a Elemental Shield from Elemental Workshop. It doesn't matter which kind of shield it is, but you need one of those shields, whether it be the Cosmic or Chaos that just came out recently, or if it's the Mind, Body, or Elemental. You need these shields. So that's simple. Now, if you notice, there's the Blurble Ore from the Knight Sword quest. So, as you can tell, and it's right inside here are some pretty dangerous monsters. So, Skeletal Wyvern, level 140. Like I said, attacks with all forms of combat. Not only that, but they also freeze you, which is not very, very pretty. So, as a matter of fact, it can be an annoyance. So, now, a lot of people complain about these guys saying that they're their pain in the butt to kill, and I honestly don't see why they're so hard. Now, at the moment, I am potted. I have 99 attack, strength, and defense, unlike in my last video where I wasn't max melee. So, but I was also ranging on my frost dragons. With these guys, you can range them. I've heard there are range methods. I haven't tested it out myself, so I'm just trying to get the word out saying these are actually a great task to have. They're very profitable. So a full inventory of the bones can range anywhere from about 200k to possibly more if you have a beast of burden. So I bring Dragon Poison Dagger and a superset. So mainly it's because you have to keep a shield on you. So normally if I'm doing a Slayer task, I take my Enchanting Excalibur for healing myself. But for this particular task, these guys seem to be a little bit weaker to slash, and very, very possible that they're pretty weak to crush, assuming that they're made of bones. But they're also pretty vulnerable to poison, so which is nice. And well, the spec is just handy against these. It makes them go by a little bit quicker. Now, I'm using the Chaotic Rapier. Normally you'd use Stab with this, but like I said, Stab didn't work too terribly well with these guys, so I've been using Slash. I kind of wish I had my Chaotic Longsword instead, but I lost that sadly, so tear. Oh well. Now, the big thing about these things is their bones. So, constant drop, every kill will have one, guaranteed money no matter what. What are the bones used for? The bones on their own, if you were to bury them, give 50 prayer XP. If you use them on a gilded altar, they'd give close to 175 XP in prayer. Or on the ectophile, or on the ectophile place, whatever, would give like 200 XP. Now, that's all well and good, but they're a little bit expensive. So far more expensive than dragon bones. Why is this? Because of the herblore update some months back, you can take the bones, crush them, and use them as a secondary ingredient for the super prayer pots. And with double XP weekend being just next weekend, today being March 7th, so the price of the bones are actually going up because a lot of people want to get that herb out of the way, done and over with. So they're willing to pay that extra price for the bones, which for me, and having these things as a Slayer task, is a wonderful thing. So yeah, so a little friend of mine, say hi to YouTube. So now I don't know if you've noticed or anything, but yeah, these guys hit. And I will admit, you cannot AFK these, so you will use shark. So probably about 1 to 2 shark per wyvern. Some people like to pray versus these. If you do, I'd recommend praying melee, mainly either melee or range. So the Dragonfire Breath, which I just got hit with, you can't block it. So you're going to get hit with it. Without the shielding, you can get up to 500. It's a nasty attack. There's no way getting around it. But at the exact same time, it's meh. It's how to say it. The attack's just deadly and not something you really want to screw around with. So while their mage range and melee attack are mellower, you can actually block those. So, like I said, your biggest threat is their elemental breath. So, which no getting around it, sadly. Oh well. Now, when you're here, you have multiple choices on what all you can use in order to kill them. Some people prefer to range. I'm particularly using melee. Don't care. So, Beast of Burden or Bunyip. So I came here originally with the Bunyip, and I found I was healing pretty fast. I was eating shark just to pick up the bone, so I decided to switch to a Beast of Burden. Inside the tort right now is an inventory full of shark. So, and I recommend getting an inventory of bones and then having like 3 or 4 sharks left, and then trying to run to a safe spot usually right after you finish killing one, and just quickly switch them out. Take all as many sharks as you can, and switch them out with as many bones as you can. Just gotta flop back and forth between them. It's going to be a little difficult, I admit. So that's why I would recommend as you go, take out sharks from your beast of burden. That way, when you do it, you can just deposit as many bones as possible, and then you can do it again and deposit and withdraw as many sharks as possible, or the other way around, whatever. But yeah, the gear breakup for this one is the Slayer helm, or at least the mask, so that you can get that little extra bonus while meleeing them, or if you're ranging them. So, uh, like I said, Arma, I would actually prefer to recommend to change it to Karill's, mainly because I am meleeing, and Armor does lower the stats on offensive melee, not your defensive melee. Weapons, I'm using the Chaotic Rapier now. I prefer if I had my longsword, but I lost that. A whip would work really easily versus these guys. Probably a Dragon Scimitar as well, or Karill's sword. The Dragonfire Shield or Elemental Shield, again, is a must. Do not even bother with these things if you don't have it or you have not done the quest for it. It doesn't matter what shield, just one of them, or you will die. I've heard these guys can have up to 500 plus without it. A normal anti-fire shield will not work. Don't know why. Possibility that the quest will go into detail and explain as to why it won't work, but not sure. So, Superset is helpful versus these guys, mainly because it gives you that little extra boost, that little extra offensive attack. And if you're not max melee, it'll probably be your best friend, simply because it ups your stats up. So I'd recommend both attack and strength, as well as the defensive pot, simply because these guys do hurt, so they will smack you a few bit. Now, these guys, for those of us who like summoning, they drop charms, but unlike most people, they drop 2 at a time. Most commonly crimsons, but every now and then I've gotten a green. Haven't seen any gold or any blues, but that doesn't mean they don't drop them. Just maybe not as often. So, but yeah. So the biggest thing about these things is pretty much how you go about killing them, and they're honestly a very enjoyable task. So yes, they might take food, but the bones will pay for the foods if you decide to sell them, or you'll find that you save a lot more money buying sharks rather than buying the bones if you're going to do something like herblore. So, a relatively easy task. So, again, biggest thing is the shield. Don't bother with them if you haven't gotten the shield. Doom has a Slayer assignment. Don't block them, because it'll encourage you to get the bones, and the bones are helpful for herblore. Personally, I'd say get the bones for herblore, not for the for the prayer. The prayer is good, but dragon bones are cheaper and they give about the same amount. So who knows? But yeah, and they also drop the rare dragon visage as well as the granite legs. So it might be worth picking up those up. So not sure how much the granite legs are, but the visage right now is about 18 mil, 18 or 17 mil. So it would be worth doing, worth buying and whatever, or selling. Bleh. But yeah, overall, not that difficult of a task. I'm still kind of lacking seeing why people hate these things so much. A little side note though, just a week ago or so, the Elemental Workshop 4 came out. Now, what confuses me is the fact that with these guys, you can use the elemental shields or the elemental, or not just elemental, but the body and the mind, etc., and they work against these dragons, but only against them. Why is that? And Elemental Workshop 4, which, by the way, I still need to do, sadly, which kind of sucks. I hate that. So I'm going to be working on that probably after this guy. But people tell on the main page, it kind of goes into detail on who exactly made the elemental armor. And I'm beginning to wonder why, and why these guys, these skeletal wyverns, are affected by the armor, and if possibly if the armor will have some effect. I might later do a video between all the different shields that are currently out right now, and see if there is any different effect between them all, like if the body shield is actually better or whatever. So who knows, there might be some special effect if wearing the full entire armor set, because they seem to be tied in with the runes, so it could affect rune crafting. It could possibly, if you wear a full set, you might get a little extra boost, like, and the elemental ones might protect you from elemental magic, like these guys, or from just basic magic in general. So, who knows, just a thought, and wanted it on recording, so if YouTube hears it, I can be like, ha, told you so. But yeah, that's about it. Have quick escapes. These guys can freeze you. I would not recommend running back to the door, simply because there are times where, like right now, I'm frozen. So, and it would kind of suck to have a full inventory of these things, have no food, and get frozen, and then get brothel stomped. That would be no fun. But yeah, take your time with these. They're a enjoyable task. They take about an hour to do or so, maybe an hour and a half. The XP is very nice, so the money you make from them, excellent. I make about 500k off this task. And go for it, guys. Go kill some dragons. So go kill some skeletal wyverns. So get that prayer up and get that herb lore up. So I'll see you later, YouTube, and whatever might be my next video.